Good morning, everybody. I want to start today by asking you a simple question. How many times have you shared something deep, something personal, only to realize it wasn't met with the support, the understanding, or the care you thought it would be? Here's the truth, friends. Not everything is meant to be shared. Some things are too sacred, too powerful, too vulnerable to just give away to anyone who asks. And yet in this world of social media, texts and messages, we've become so used to oversharing, we forget the importance of holding certain things close. So today, I'm going to talk about 5 things you should never share with anyone. These aren't just things to keep to yourself. They're the things that will help protect your peace, guard your purpose, and strengthen your future. Because the more we share things that don't belong out there, the more we open ourselves up to the wrong influence, the wrong voices, and the wrong paths. Are you ready? Let's dive into it. Let's protect what matters most. You've got a dream, we all do, a vision of something bigger, something greater, something that tugs at your heart and whispers to you in those quiet moments. But here's the truth. Not everyone will see your dream the way you do. In fact, a lot of people won't see it at all. And some will actively try to discredit it, dismiss it, or even destroy it. They won't understand the fire inside of you, the drive that wakes you up every morning with a sense of purpose. They won't understand the long nights you spend sacrificing, the hours spent learning, the days spent working to build something that doesn't yet exist, but that you know is worth it. And because they can't see it, because they don't feel what you feel, they will attempt to talk you out of it. They'll tell you it's too big, too audacious, too risky. They'll question your ability, your experience, or your qualification. They'll throw doubts at you like stones, trying to knock you off course. But the thing is, those doubts aren't about you. They're about them. People who can't see your dream aren't a reflection of your inability to achieve it. They're simply a reflection of their own fears and limitations. You see, not everyone is built to dream at the same level. Some people live in a world where their aspirations are confined by what's familiar, what's safe, what's predictable. Their lives are often dictated by what others expect from them or by the limitations society places on them. And when they see someone with a big dream, a dream that challenges those limitations, it threatens them. It shakes their world because it exposes the truth. They too could dream that big. They could pursue something that scares them, that pushes them to their limits, but they haven't yet dared to. And so they try to stop you. They try to pull you back down to their level where it's safe, where nothing ever grows. Here's the truth though. You're not here to live small. You're not here to stay in the comfort zone where nothing new happens. You're not here to settle for mediocrity because someone else's fear tells you it's enough. You were created with purpose, with a dream that's uniquely yours, and it's meant to be shared with the world in a way only you can. The world needs your vision, your gifts, your perspective. The world needs the person you're becoming as you chase after that dream, no matter how difficult or uncertain the road may be. But you can't let other people's small thinking hold you back. You can't allow them to shrink your dream just because they don't have the courage to dream as big as you. There's a reason why dreams are personal. They're not meant to be shared with everyone. Not every person you encounter has the ability to carry the weight of your vision. Not every person you talk to has the wisdom, maturity, or emotional capacity to understand the magnitude of what you're trying to do. Dreams are fragile things when they're young. They need nurturing. They need care. They need to be protected until they're strong enough to stand on their own. And the problem is that when we open up about our dreams too early, when we share them with the wrong people, we give others the power to influence them in ways that can stifle their growth. Think about the first time you shared your dream with someone. Maybe it was a business idea, a career goal, or even a personal transformation you wanted to make. You felt that spark of excitement, that desire to share this thing that had been growing inside of you. But then maybe you didn't get the reaction you hoped for. Maybe the person you shared it with didn't celebrate it. Maybe they asked all the wrong questions. Maybe that were full of doubt, skepticism, and fear. Maybe they told you it was too risky, too far-fetched, or that you didn't have what it takes. In that moment, your dream didn't just feel less real, it felt smaller. The excitement you had about it deflated. And you may have started to question yourself. You started to wonder if they were right. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe you weren't capable. Maybe it was just too much. But here's something you need to realize. Other people's doubt is not your reality. Other people's limitations are not your limitations. When they question your dream, they're revealing their own fear, their own lack of belief in what's possible, not a lack of potential in you. You can't allow their lack of vision to rob you of yours. Your dream isn't about them. It's about you. It's about the life you're creating, the future you're building, and the legacy you'll leave behind. You have to protect that vision, even if it means keeping it to yourself until the time is right. There's a reason why not every person you meet should have access to your dreams. Some people will celebrate with you, cheer you on, and encourage you to keep going, but others, they'll just drag you down. They'll try to inject their own fears into your spirit, making you second guess yourself. And when that happens, you're at risk of doubting your own abilities, of shrinking back from the big plans you've made for your life. You're at risk of settling for less than what you were created to do. Don't let that happen. Don't let anyone take your dream from you or water it down with their own doubts. You see, a dream is like a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't just leave it out in the open for anyone to come along and step on it. You protect it. You keep it in the right environment. You make sure it has the right conditions to grow and thrive. And that's what you need to do with your dream. You need to protect it, nurture it, and make sure it's in the right environment where it can grow strong. Don't just hand it over to anyone for their approval. Not everyone is worthy of seeing what you're working on behind the scenes. Not everyone has the capacity to understand your journey or to offer the kind of support you need. If you've ever been in a place where you've felt discouraged, where you've doubted your ability to make your dream a reality, think back to who you were talking to during that time. Were you surrounded by people who believed in you, who encouraged you, who pushed you to go further? Or were you listening to people who saw your dream as a threat or who couldn't fathom what you were trying to do? You have to be intentional about who gets to speak into your life. You have to protect your dream from the people who will try to steal it with their fear, their negativity, or their limited mindset. Guard your dream, protect it fiercely, nurture it with care, let it grow in an environment that fosters hope, positivity, and faith. And when the time is right, when your dream is strong enough to stand on its own, share it with the world. Share it with those who will celebrate it, who will encourage you, and who will walk with you through the highs and the lows. But until then, keep it close. Don't let anyone diminish it. Don't let anyone make you believe it's too big or too impossible. Your dream is yours for a reason. It was given to you, not to them. And it's up to you to protect it, to believe in it, and to bring it to life. You've got something inside of you that the world needs, but you've got to guard it. You've got to guard it with everything you've got. Don't let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others steal what you were created to accomplish. Your dream is your responsibility, and it's your privilege to make it a reality. Keep going, keep believing, and keep protecting what matters most, the dream that's inside of you. You've heard it before, don't let anyone steal your peace. But how often do we actually consider what that truly means, especially in a world that constantly demands more from us? In our lives, peace is often the first thing to go when we start sharing too much, exposing ourselves to the wrong people, or getting too wrapped up in things that drain us. Peace is fragile. It's delicate. It's something that requires careful tending and protection. And yet so many of us give it away without a second thought. We share our worries, our doubts, our fears, and our insecurities with the people around us, only to find ourselves emotionally depleted, mentally drained, and spiritually exhausted. We wonder why we feel overwhelmed, why we're constantly on edge, and why the weight of the world seems to rest on our shoulders. It's because we've allowed others to invade our inner peace with their own worries, negativity, and expectation. Let's be real, not every person you come across deserves access to your peace. Not everyone you interact with is going to uplift you, encourage you, or help you grow. In fact, some people are just waiting for the opportunity to feed off of your energy, to suck the life out of you. They might not even realize they're doing it. They might not even mean to. But the reality is that they're not going to bring peace into your life. They'll bring chaos, confusion, and conflict. And it's up to you to protect yourself from that. Too many people live their lives as if peace is something that can be taken for granted, as if it's a commodity they can simply hand over at will without considering the consequences. But the truth is that your peace is not something to be given away lightly. We've all been there. We've all been in situations where we've shared too much of ourselves with someone, where we've allowed someone to enter into our space and spill their negativity into our lives. We've all had those conversations that leave us feeling worse than when we started. Those moments when we walk away from someone's presence and feel emotionally drained. The problem isn't just that these people are sharing their negativity with us. It's that we're allowing it to affect us. We're opening ourselves up to things we can't control, and we're allowing our peace to be disturbed by someone else's storm. That's not how it's supposed to be. When you share your deepest struggles with the wrong people, when you allow them to know every single detail of your life, you are giving them access to your heart, your soul, and your peace. And not everyone is equipped to handle that level of vulnerability. Not everyone knows how to hold space for someone else's pain or difficulty without letting it take over their own lives. The moment you open up to someone who isn't capable of providing the emotional support you need, you risk not only feeling unsupported, but also feeling worse about yourself and your situation. You risk letting their negativity invade your peace, leaving you feeling unsettled and shaken. There's a profound danger in sharing too much with the wrong people, especially if you're looking for comfort, validation, or support. Because in the end, you're more likely to end up with more questions than answers, more confusion than clarity, and more unrest than peace. I'm not saying that you should isolate yourself or never share your struggles with anyone. Absolutely not. We all need people in our lives who can help us process our emotions, provide guidance, and be there when things get tough. But we also need to be discerning about who gets access to our inner world. Not everyone deserves to be a part of that. Not everyone has earned the right to know your vulnerabilities or to be a part of your journey. You wouldn't give the keys to your house to a stranger, would you? You wouldn't allow just anyone to roam freely in your personal space, take whatever they wanted, and leave you with nothing. So why would you give someone access to your peace without considering the consequences? Your peace is precious. It's a rare and valuable commodity in a world that's constantly moving, constantly shifting, and constantly trying to pull you in different directions. It's easy to lose sight of peace when we're bombarded with messages from social media, from the news, from the pressures of work, family, and society. It's easy to let the noise of the world drown out the stillness that you need to thrive. But peace is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of something deeper. It's the ability to remain calm, centered, and focused even in the midst of the storm. It's the ability to stand firm, grounded in who you are and what you believe, regardless of what's going on around you. And if you want to protect your peace, you have to be intentional about who you allow to speak into your life, who you allow to influence your thoughts, and who you allow to share your emotional space. The challenge is we live in a culture that encourages oversharing. We're told that we should be open, transparent, and vulnerable with everyone we meet. We're encouraged to share our personal lives on social media, to tell people our stories, to let them into our private worlds. But what we often forget is that not everyone who's interested in hearing our story is also interested in helping us heal. Not everyone who wants to know our problems is in a position to offer solutions. And not everyone who asks about our struggles is coming from a place of love or support. Some people are simply curious. Some people want to know your weaknesses so they can use them against you. Some people will try to manipulate your emotions to get what they want. Some people just want to bring you down to their level so they don't have to face their own issues. If we aren't careful, we'll find ourselves surrounded by people who only take from us, never giving anything back in return. The reality is that some people can't handle the weight of your pain, your worries, or your dreams. And when you share those things with them, they might not be able to offer the support you need. They might not be able to hold space for you in a way that brings healing or comfort. Instead, they might magnify your fears, amplify your doubts, or reinforce the very things that are holding you back. They might make you feel like you're not enough, like your struggles are too much, or like you're asking for too much. They might leave you feeling more isolated, more misunderstood, and more disconnected than before. And that's why it's so important to protect your peace by being careful about who you allow into your emotional space. You see, peace isn't just about avoiding conflict or shutting out negativity. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about setting boundaries that protect your heart, your mind, and your spirit. It's about knowing who is worthy of your time, your vulnerability, and your trust. And it's about being wise enough to recognize when someone is trying to steal your peace and doing whatever it takes to shield yourself from that influence. You don't have to engage with every person who brings chaos into your life. You don't have to allow every voice to disrupt your inner calm. You don't have to give everyone access to your heart. Take a moment to think about your own life. Think about the people who are closest to you. The ones who you turn to when you need advice, comfort, or encouragement. Do they help you feel at peace? Do they bring out the best in you? Or do they add to your stress, your anxiety, and your worries? Are they people who support you, lift you up, and make you feel safe? Or are they people who seem to thrive on drama, negativity, and conflict? Surround yourself with those who bring peace into your life, not those who take it away. Protect your peace at all costs, because once it's gone, it can be incredibly difficult to get it back. In the end, peace is not a luxury. It's not something that only a few people are meant to have. It's something you can cultivate, protect, and preserve no matter what's going on around you. But you have to be vigilant. You have to be intentional. You have to guard your peace like it's your most valuable possession, because in a world that's always pushing, pulling, and demanding, your peace is the one thing no one should ever take from you. Your worth is not up for debate, yet how often do we find ourselves allowing others to define us? How often do we let someone else's opinion shape how we see ourselves, our abilities, and our potential? It's so easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from others, constantly measuring ourselves against the standards they've set, or adjusting our worth based on the way they treat us. But the truth is this: you determine your worth, not anyone else. Your value is intrinsic, it's unshakable, and it's not something that can be negotiated or diluted by someone else's perception of you. In a world where we're constantly seeking approval, whether it's from social media, our peers, our families, or even strangers, it's easy to lose sight of this truth. We become so fixated on how others see us that we forget to ask ourselves how we see ourselves. We forget that our worth is not contingent upon their validation, their applause, or their acceptance. It is not defined by how many likes we get on a post or how many people comment on our achievements. It is not determined by how many followers we have or by the positions we hold. Our worth is not something that can be measured by any external metric. It's an internal truth that runs deeper than the surface level judgments of the world. Too often we allow the opinions of others to dictate how we feel about ourselves. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good enough or that you weren't capable of achieving something. Maybe someone made you feel small or unimportant. Maybe someone pointed out your flaws, your weaknesses, or your mistakes and used them as a way to diminish you. And if you're not careful, you can begin to internalize those words. You can start believing that because someone else doesn't see your potential, you don't have it. You can begin to think that because someone else doesn't think you're worthy, you aren't. But those are lies. Those are the lies we tell ourselves when we allow someone else's limited view of us to overshadow the truth of who we are. Your worth is not defined by the opinions of others. It is not determined by the judgments they cast upon you. It is not contingent upon what they think you should be or what they believe you can achieve. The world may try to place labels on you, to tell you what you are and are capable of, but none of that matters if it doesn't align with the truth of who you are. Your worth is rooted in your identity, your true, authentic self, the person you are when no one else is around to tell you who you should be. Your worth is not something that can be earned or lost based on your achievements or failures. It is simply something you were born with, something that can never be taken away. Think about the way we treat children. When a child is born, no one questions their worth. No one looks at them and says, you're only valuable if you achieve X, Y, and Z. No one tells a baby that they are only worthy if they can run, walk, or talk by a certain age. Their worth is inherent simply because they are. But as we grow older, we begin to accept the lie that our worth is tied to what we accomplish, what we achieve, or how others perceive us. We start to look for validation in all the wrong places. We begin to equate our value with our success, with the amount of money we make, with the titles we hold, and with the recognition we receive. We start to think that we're only as valuable as our last accomplishment or as our last failure. And we lose sight of the fact that our worth has never been tied to anything external. It's time to stop measuring your worth by other people's standards. It's time to stop giving them the power to dictate how you see yourself. The moment you let someone else decide what you're worth, you're giving them control over your life. You're handing over your peace, your happiness, and your sense of self. But when you take ownership of your worth, when you decide for yourself that you are valuable, regardless of external opinions, you unlock a freedom that can never be taken away. No one can define you but you. No one can diminish your value unless you allow them to. Too often, we allow the world to tell us who we are, what we can do, and how far we can go. We let other people's perceptions limit our potential. But think about this. The world didn't create you, and the world doesn't get to decide who you are. There's something far greater than the world's judgments that determines your worth. Your Creator. Your worth was established long before you even took your first breath. It's unchanging, unwavering, and it's not determined by anything you do, have, or accomplish. Your worth is based on who you are, not on what you do. The moment you stop allowing other people's opinions to dictate your value is the moment you step into your true power. You'll no longer be bound by the limiting beliefs of others or by the fear that you're not enough. You'll stop shrinking back, waiting for others to give you permission to be who you are. And when you do that, you open yourself up to a life of possibility, of freedom, and of purpose. Because when you know your worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop accepting relationships, jobs, or circumstances that don't align with who you are. You stop compromising your values, your beliefs, and your dreams just to gain approval. You start to see yourself for the incredible person you truly are, and you refuse to let anyone make you believe otherwise. It's easy to get caught up in seeking validation from others, especially in a culture that constantly rewards external achievement. We're taught from a young age to compete, to compare, and to measure our worth based on our accomplishments. We're told that success equals value, that popularity equals worth, that the more we have, the more we're worth. But those things are fleeting. Success fades, popularity shifts, material wealth comes and goes. But your worth, that's something that can never be taken away from you. It's rooted in something far deeper than what the world can give. When you understand that your worth is not up for debate, you'll stop seeking external validation. You'll stop measuring yourself against others. You'll stop trying to fit into molds that don't reflect who you are. Instead, you'll start living authentically, confidently, and unapologetically. You'll pursue your dreams not because you're trying to prove something to others, but because you know you're capable of achieving them. You'll make decisions based on what's right for you, not based on what others think you should do. You'll stop allowing others to dictate your path, and you'll start walking in the direction that feels true to your heart. The key is to remember that your worth is not something you have to earn. It's not something you have to prove. It's not something that changes based on your performance or your circumstances. You are worthy simply because you are. Your worth is not contingent on the approval of others. It's not defined by your successes or your failures. It's inherent in your being. When you truly believe this, when you internalize the truth that your worth is not up for debate, you stop giving others the power to shape your identity. You stop letting their opinions, criticisms, and judgments define how you see yourself. You are worthy, you are enough, and no one, no matter who they are or what they say, can ever take that away from you